YouTube, it's Rico, man, back with another video. Y'all see what we got going on, man. We got Lil Durk, the rise and fall and rise again, so y'all know what time it is. But before we get started, if you're brand new to the channel or you've been watching videos but for some reason not subscribed to the channel yet, hit that subscribe button right now. We on the grind to 5K. Currently we're at 1200K, so we trying to get to 5K. So y'all go ahead and do what y'all got to do if you're brand new to the channel or haven't hit that subscribe button yet. Hit it right now. And also, don't forget to leave a like and comment on the video to help this video get recommended to a larger audience and hopefully bring in new subscribers / supporters to the channel, man, because we definitely going all in for this grind of 5K. But other than that as well, also tell your friends and family, because if you enjoy this type of content, then 9 times out of 10 they might enjoy this type of content too, and hopefully become new supporters of the channel as well, just like you. And other than that, I'm gonna go ahead and get this screen record started. That's started, and we finna start the video now.
I was doing shows, it was literally 50 people. I'm like, damn, I gotta get back. Like, when you the artist, it's killing you. Like, damn.
I feel like 50 is still a good amount, just because if you're up and coming and nobody really know much about you, that's still something. So you definitely gotta work hard and grind on top of that to build those audience amount of people higher. So you gotta drop bangers and continue working on your craft and go all out, pretty much.
That's probably out. Lil Durk has recently had an amazing commercial release for his album The Voice. It sold 23,000 copies the first day, around 70,000 copies the second week, and 47,000 the third week. 2020 was just the lead up to this, and the greatest year of his entire career. Lil Durk got his first ever Hot 100 charting song, with him as the lead artist in his whole career, with the song Viral Moment from his album Just 'Cause Y'all Waited Too, and his highest charting song ever, peaking at number 43 with Three-Headed Goat, featuring Lil Baby and Polo G. That was his second platinum song ever.
Yeah, Durk definitely been going crazy the past 2.5 years, so he definitely grinding and going stupid and continuing to put a lot of more attention on Chicago artists in general, because you got Polo G doing this thing, Durk doing this thing, other Chicago artists up and coming doing their thing, Chance the Rapper doing this thing. So it's just all around good for Chicago to have these many successful rappers in today's generation, man. So that just says a lot that even past the drill era, it's still going crazy with Chicago music. So shout out to everybody that's still doing their thing coming out of Chicago.
He had 4 more songs chart on the Hot 100 from The Voice in 2020, and we can't forget the biggest moment, being featured on Drake's lead single to his upcoming album, Certified Lover Boy. We don't know if it's on the album, Laugh Now, Cry Later, that peaked at number 2 on the Hot 100. But things weren't always smooth sailing,
and hella people, even me, still wish he had a longer verse on that song, no cap. We all fuck with Drake here and there to a certain extent. I ain't gonna say everybody do, because some people just flat out don't like Drake. Some people do, or some people like some of the music he put out, but some of it they don't really like as much as compared to when he first came out. But now he 50-50 with me. Like, he'll have some good songs I'll rock with, then he'll have some songs I just don't like at all. And but like I said, back to what Durk did on that song, people still wish he had a longer verse, and I definitely agree.
Lil Durk had a really rocky road of up and downs, not only in his life prior to making it in music, but while in music as well. Lil Durk was born and raised in Chicago. His father was locked up when he was just a baby in the early 90s for selling crack cocaine. He was in a distribution ring and reportedly had up to $8 million in his possession when they arrested him. That money was seized from him and his associates by the FBI, and in 1994, Durk's father was sentenced to life in prison. He started getting into putting out music seriously in 2011, with the rise of drill music in Chicago and its widespread popularity throughout the internet. But the moment that really changed it all for Lil Durk was his song L's Anthem, released in March of 2012. This was uploaded to D Gain's YouTube channel, the same YouTube channel and videographer that was doing many of the drill music videos back then, and with Chief Keef blowing up, people were recommended these other Chicago rappers, Durk being one of them. This song did enough numbers to get him noticed by one of the record labels that was hungry to...
Now, that song was definitely booming on radio stations all throughout Illinois, man. He definitely went crazy with that song, and pretty much did like the I Don't Like remix and regular I Don't Like version of Chief Keef's song. So they definitely pioneered and influenced a lot of people coming out of Chicago and around that time. Y'all already know the whole story of GBE and OTF and how they artists pretty much put Chicago on the map, man. And then we seen people like G Herbo, Young Pappy, and countless other guys, FBG, Duck, all type of people who just coming out with music and stuff and going crazy, man. But fortunately, a lot of those artists lost their lives, for y'all that don't know. So if you don't know about the Chicago drill movement and the story behind all of that stuff from 2011 and up to now, then you definitely got to go watch some more YouTube videos. There's a lot of videos, man, to learn about the artists that was coming up and really about to put they city on the map even more. Like, they all from Chicago, but they all rep their own different blocks or whatever. Some of them got the same group of guys they hang around, some of them don't. So like I said, it's a lot of history behind Chicago artists from today's generation, man. It's a lot of talent that's been lost, and there's been a lot of talent that's been grinding and going to the top. So if y'all don't know about all of that, like I said, definitely go watch all these YouTube videos on the history of Chicago artists from today's generation, man. Sad, but still glad we got some that survived and made it out. So shout out to them.
To sign talent from this burgeoning scene, and within a month, both Durk and Lil Reese were signed to Def Jam Records. It was reported by Chicago blog Fake Shore Drive with a brief interview. First and foremost, Durk, congrats to you. Shout out to Fake Shore Drive and Andrew, man. Much love. Shout out to Def Jam for believing. Shout out to all the artists in Chicago. Stay tuned for the new music because we're coming. Know that. Any idea when we can expect an album or a single on Def Jam? We working on that right now. It's a work in progress, but we're trying to figure that all out now. But we're working.
Is this a cult if I ever heard one? Yes, it is.
By killing themselves, they ensured.
Last time we spoke, you were supposed to turn yourself in to do a short stretch in jail. Is that still happening? Yeah. Def Jam got me an extension of an extra week, which got me out here to LA to sign the deal. I've got to come back to Chicago to do my time, though. I go back in Monday for 2 months. Despite that, this is very exciting. Yeah, man. Also, Reese and I are the first acts from Chicago to sign straight to Def Jam. No other imprints. We're straight to Def Jam, no middleman. The first single after he was signed to Def Jam was the song This Ain't What You Want, with its accompanying music video that did incredibly well. It's at over...
And another song that went crazy on the radio stations back then around the time it came out. So he definitely had a lot of radio hits. I think now he still got some, but a lot of the music y'all already know don't get played on the radio just because of the stuff that's going on with what they rapping about. So if the radio wasn't somewhat restriction on music and stuff, it would definitely be a lot more of these artists songs making it to the radio. But like I said, due to the restrictions, a lot of them ain't gonna always be on the radio, but they definitely still got some that's currently on the radio.
45 million views as of today, and had that same element that Lil Durk originally got on for. And you can see appearances from fellow Chicago rappers like Rondo Number 9. He was building up his fan base and catalog through singles and mixtapes, strongly affiliated with French Montana and Coke Boys between the years of 2013 to 2015. He released Signed to the Streets in 2013 and Signed to the Streets 2 in 2014. But it was getting time for him to release a debut album with Def Jam, and that was released in June of 2015, titled Remember My Name, that would sell about 27,000 first week. This album, and in particular the song featuring Jeremiah, Like Me, was when fans began to get a different side of Lil Durk's music, where He was using a more singing, auto-tune melody style of delivery, instead of the rapping and drill delivery he got popular with. Some other songs where you can hear that style.
And that's pretty much when his career really took off too, man. Because now you see more singing and love songs that he do and stuff. But he still got some drill stuff. But he definitely had went away from that a lot more when he started doing the sing rap and stuff. So he's still making his bread and butter off of that. So unlike other people, it's probably a few of us, but not too many. But a lot of us still prefer the old Durk where he raps and do more drill type of sound. So I've messed with that much of his career, but the new part of his career, I'm 50-50 pretty much. I don't always like to sing and rap and all that, but it is what it is. Like I said, he's still booming, so he doing what's best for his career, and that's what's gonna make his career last and keep going further and further. Sometimes you gotta change, and that's the facts. That's the true facts. If you wanna see success in your career and whatever you doing, you gotta change. No ifs, ands, or buts. Period.
On this album are on the songs Higher and on Tryna featuring Logic, which was such a bizarre feature to see both of these rappers on a song, but they were both on Def Jam. The song with Jeremiah performed insanely well, and if I had to guess, Def Jam probably wanted to double down on this.
All these ads.
And I personally didn't like this, but it was working. They put him in that public relationship with Dej Loaf, and they released that song titled My Beyonce that was not drill in the slightest. This song would eventually go gold. It attracted a new demographic to Durk's music, but it left OG Lil Durk fans a bit confused. This wasn't drill. It would show up on his second.
See, he pretty much touching on what I'm saying, man. Some people, like I said, we definitely rock with Durk more for his drill sound. But like I said, the singing is what got his career to go further. But it is what it is. But yeah, a lot of people definitely still prefer the old Durk. But like I said, you got to change to do better and go further in your career. Simple.
Project released that year, which was a mixtape titled 300 Days, 300 Nights. But in 2016, it was time for Lil Durk's next album, Lil Durk 2 Times. The song My Beyonce was used as the lead single to this album as well, and when his sophomore album was released on July of 2016, the sales would likely be higher, right? I mean, he had a lead single that was performing well. No, the sales were abysmal. His album sold 12,000 units overall first week, and you need to keep in mind, not only did he just sell more than twice that a year ago, this was in 2016, he was just coming off of 2 hits, and it was far easier to sell a lot of units then than it is now. Streaming was not as widespread as it would become in the coming years, and this was around the same time that Lil Durk was referencing in the beginning of this video, when he said he would look around and see it sometimes there were around 50 people at a show of his. Being at this point in a rapper's career is a scary place. You had already done so much to get out the hood and your situation to finally get a deal and become a rapper, but now you had fallen off big time. Was this going to be a permanent thing? Most rappers, once their initial hype dies down and they keep falling off for a year or 2 straight, they'll never get back to that level. Their career is kind of just over. The better days are behind.
Grammarly does more than catch errors. With Grammarly, you can find really good, no, perfect words that make your
behind them. But Lil Durk didn't want to let that happen. He was still on Def Jam and wasn't really too fond of his label situation, so he decided to do what rappers usually did during this time period to feed the fans, and that was release mixtapes. The first song he dropped was They Forgot, which was a return to form. It's a Chicago drill song through and through, bringing that same energy that brought him into the game, and this mixtape was named after the song too. He released this in November of 2016, but in 2017 is when Lil Durk was really going to turn his work ethic into overdrive. The end of 2016 is what I would call Lil Durk's lowest moment in his musical career. It was definitely a trough. Nobody was really checking for him except his die-hard fans. He was an afterthought, but things were going to slowly go up from here. In 2017, Lil Durk would release 4 mixtapes. Yes, you heard that. 4 mixtapes. He released Love Songs for the Streets in February, Super Vultures, which was a collaborative mixtape with Lil Reese, who had also fallen off terribly in August, Signed to the Streets 2.5 in October, and Blooders, which was a collaborative mixtape with T Grizzly in December. 2018 was going to be a new phase for Lil Durk's career. He was finally free from Def Jam and an independent artist. I've been with Def Jam Records for 5 years, and they gave me my first recording contract. So for that, I'm forever grateful, Durk says. But I'm a different artist than I was 5 years ago, and the time is right for a change. At the same time, Def Jam is making changes in their offices and trying a new direction. I didn't want to be a part of another regime change. In an interview with No Jumper back in 2018, he goes deeper into detail about what was going on during his time at Def Jam.
Being signed at Def Jam since 2012, you know what I'm saying, so a couple of months ago. I wasn't be able to being creative. Couldn't drop what I wanted to. Had to ask, can I drop? You know what I'm saying? And it was just like.
And that just goes to show you how great of an artist Durk is, man. Because some people would have just folded and probably would have retired after they had 2 bad years, let alone 1 bad year, and not really get much traction at shows and concerts, whatever you want to call them, and tours and stuff like that. So he definitely just stayed back, just sat back, and still kept working on his music, kept doing what he could do behind the scenes and what was allowed of him to do and stuff like that. So that's why he dropped all those mixtapes and stuff to get his career back going, skyrocket and stuff, get more people to check for him and stuff again, and produce more better music albums and stuff like that. But like he said, so he had to get out of Def Jam and ultimately keep his potential going and try to grind to make even more music and a larger fan base by being independent and stuff. Because sometimes being independent ain't that bad. If you already got a loyal fan base made from basically the time you got put on in the main industry, then you should definitely be able to capitalize off of that and do better without a record label. Because record labels, like he said, a lot of artists had problems with their record labels. We still seeing it now. We got a lot of artists that had tracks booming before they signed to a record label. Then once they finally signed to a record label, because of the clout they had, we started seeing a lot of them getting shelved or not even putting out much projects due to the record labels not really liking what they doing. They want you to do what they think is best for you to do. So it's kind of hard for them to really basically go crazy with their potential that they had when they first started before the record label. So record labels can be a blessing and a curse in disguise. You never know. It just depends on the type of artist you are, or it just depends who's running that record label too. Because sometimes it ain't just the artist, it's the record label, the people that's running the record label. So it's a lot of factors into how you make a successful career as a musician, either independent or being signed to a record label. Like I said, it's a blessing and a curse in disguise. It's got its perks and it's got its cons of really doing bad for you. So it's just, like I said, it's a lot of details and factors that plays into your career as a musician, if you trying to be independent or if you trying to be signed. Simple. But long story short, he did what he had to do, got out of Def Jam. Like he said, he wasn't able to drop much. He had to ask, can he drop? And you know, once you get to that point, your career kind of basically is 50-50 of where it's gonna go at that point. Because if you to the point you gotta ask your record label, can you drop music, then that mean they really don't like what you doing as much. So I'm glad he was able to get out of that situation, and we got the Durk we see now. So shout out to him for sure.
Like, go do whatever. So I kept myself afloat, but now it's like it's turned, it's over with.
Right. So when you look back at that, do you think that overall the Def Jam, like the decision to rock with Def Jam early on in your career, was a bad idea?
No. You know what I'm saying? It just ain't the right situation for me.
Right.
It might fit the next person, but just, you know what I'm saying, it ain't fit me.
Do you feel like that they were trying to turn you into too much of a star Trying to force you into that like pop star bubble or something?
So that's what I wanted to say. Like, they wanted me to go pop. Then when I had something, I'm like, I'm gonna do this. They're like, nah. But it's like I had no say so it was like,
right.
And that's the problem with these record labels, man. They really be out here trying to force an artist that's doing something that got them known in the first place to now you want to completely change everything to with a point where now people don't even know, is this the same artist that we even started rocking with from the beginning? Because you got him trying to put out pop music instead of what made him known. So it's kind of hard for a record label to just try to change everything that made the artist known and get to the point he was at before he even signed with y'all. So I really don't see the brains behind that. I don't know how they think changing an artist's overall sound, even though they know what's got them known, is the best sound possible for them to continue on with their career. So the record label definitely could hinder your potential and the growth of your career if you don't know like what they're doing or what you're doing pretty much at the end of the day. So like I said, you gotta be like Durk, pretty much just sit back, keep working on your music no matter what, even if the record label don't want you to do what you already know is best for your career and stuff. So you just gotta stay confident and go through the storm pretty much and just ride it out until you able to get out of that situation and then do what you want to do with the fans and clout you already got from beforehand and so on and so on, pretty much, long story short.
So it was just a bad situation for me.
Yeah, because like the Jeremiah song and stuff, like when I think about it, those are like the big moments that I kind of remember like from your career that really made me be like, damn, this dude is fucking dope. Like this, like those songs really do stand out. But then at the same time, I always like wondered, like, is the label kind of pressuring him to make a certain type of record because it seemed like they had sort of a formula with putting R&B singers on your shit and everything?
Yeah, they was behind it. You know what I'm saying? I got plats from it. You know what I'm saying? But now I'm gonna give y'all like all me.
This interview was on a press run Lil Durk was on to promote his first album as an independent artist that was titled Just Cause Y'all Waited. It released on March 30th, 2018, debuting at number 57 on the Billboard 200 albums chart. I was unable to find the exact sales, but they were definitely less than 9,500, which is lower than what he sold with his last album, Lil Durk 2 Times, on Def Jam. However, another label saw potential with these sales coming from an independent Lil Durk, so they reached out, and in a couple of months, Lil Durk was now signed to Alamo Records in partnership with Interscope. They wasted no time getting to work. In that same year in November, Lil Durk dropped another album, Signed to the Streets 3, that debuted at number 17 on the albums chart, selling 26,741 copies first week, with nearly 2,000 of that coming from pure album sales. This was already looking to be a more fruitful partnership than Def Jam, because this album was already basically selling the same numbers Durk did with his first album on there, and he was bouncing back from having fallen off. He wasn't having any singles success, but he was building up a strong core fan base once again and bringing back old fans with this consistent stream of projects he was putting out. And 2019 was going to be no different. The biggest being that Lil Durk was putting on some rappers on his own OTF label, the first to get pushed and becoming the biggest being King Von. Another big thing to happen for Lil Durk in the beginning of 2019 was that in February, his father, who he refers to as Big Durk, was released from prison. He was serving a life sentence, but he won his appeal and was now a free man and reunited with his son. His second album was getting ready to be released in August of that same year, Love Songs for the Streets 2, and this was his highest debut for an album ever, at number 4 on the Billboard's album charts, selling 42,000 first week. Now that's putting up some really solid numbers. Lil Durk was back in the game, and where many other rappers fell off in 2020 with everything that was going on and shows having been a big source of income for Lil Durk, his career still only continued to rise up. There was a new partnership with the label too. Instead of Alamo Interscope, it was now Alamo Geffen, and in May of last year, Lil Durk released his album Just Cause Y'all Waited 2 with the single Three-Headed Goat, that would be his highest charting song with him as a lead, and go platinum. But the album sold 57,000 first week and went number 2 on the charts. Lil Durk, 8 years after he had first blown up, was now more popular and mainstream than he had ever been in his entire career. Keep in mind that rappers like Lil Reese and Chief Keef were way bigger than Lil Durk was in the beginning. Lil Reese is now selling 300 units after having his own label issues at Def Jam and getting dropped, if I recall correctly. Chief Keef is nowhere near as hot as Lil Durk, and it's in part because of his own decisions, but regardless, the outcomes are what we're looking at here. Other than G Herbo, who was more of a second generation Chicago drill rapper, and in his own right sold 60,000 first week with his album PTSD, I don't believe G Herbo has ever had a single of his hit the Hot 100. Nobody who came up when Durk did is even close to the level he's at right now, and it's largely thanks to Lil Durk's focus and work ethic, which was rewarded when Drake allowed him to feature on his song and music video for Laugh Now, Cry Later.
And I was just talking about a little bit of like how artists' success goes sometimes depending on based off of what they want to do. Like for example, in my last video, I did a reaction to Chief Keef. Basically, to be honest, I can't even remember the title of that video. But pretty much it was talking about his career, what happened from once he started and up to now. So pretty much he was already basically the reason why he ain't bigger right now, due to the simple fact he doesn't really drop stuff as much no more, and here and there he'll drop things, but it ain't really big major singles or titles, but they do get a lot of views on YouTube and stuff whenever he do drop, but it's not to the potential that we know he could be at, where he could have millions of views every time he drops something. But like I said, his work ethic is to blame for why he ain't really as big as Lil Durk or bigger and stuff right now. Up there with G Herbo as well, because G Herbo doing his thing. But it's all due to people not really taking their work ethic all the way 100% like they should be. And Chief Keef, he doing what he want to do. We already seen him not sign a deal with Apple, where he was going to be the first artist to bring into Apple Music or whatever, I guess. Something like that. Y'all comment down below with the full facts if y'all know. And then we seen when he would show up to meetings late, music videos late or not at all and stuff over the years. So it's a lot of reasons why Chief Keef ain't bigger than what he is now. Probably can say the same for a lot of other rappers, but they're just probably not public with all of that information. But Chief Keef has been very public about a lot of his business opportunities and stuff like that to further his career. So that's why I know what I just said pretty much just now. So other than that, though, you can't do nothing but clap it up for Durk, man. He definitely grinded out through the storm and then let the record label thing affect his overall career. He just waited until he was able to get out of that situation, grinded, got signed to a better record label deal, and went even crazier. So he doing even better with this record label. So shout out to him. But like I said, man, some of these record labels definitely don't really be trying to do what's best for the artist. They'll try to change things just because they seen a song or two go crazy and then automatically think that artist should just be doing songs like that for the rest of their career while they're at the record label, which is sometimes false. But it is what it is, man. But we just glad that he was able to go somewhere else and show his potential, and now he is where he at now. Simple.
Personally, don't even think Lil Durk has hit his second peak yet. Unfortunately, his songs and albums chart at the top at number 2, and he hasn't gotten to number 1 yet. So I'm sure he's gunning for that. But he's on an upwards trajectory that's already higher than his previous peak ever was. And with the level of discipline and strong mental he's had up until this point, all he has to do is not get lazy and screw it all up. How far do you think Lil Durk can go? Let me know in the comments. Like and subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Thank you for watching. Peace.
That's the end of the video, man. But my last closing thoughts. So he definitely gonna go crazier. He got a lot of features. I got a lot of opportunities to make music with other big time artists and stuff that's currently out. So we definitely see a lot of potential that Durk can get by to continue on with doing what he doing with his work ethic and not going lazy and stuff, getting off track and falling off. We already know he ain't gonna never let that happen. So we just gotta continue to sit back and watch him continue to grow and go crazier. So shout out to Durk. But that's the end of this video. If you guys enjoyed this video as much as I did, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you're brand new to the channel. And I will see you guys later on with another video. We on the grind of 5K. Peace.